Hi, my name is Austin Zoot, and welcome to the Zoot Perspective Web Congregation. This week we're going to depart a little bit from our usual tracking of the Torah portion. We're actually going to talk about Purim. Purim is the Jewish holiday that occurred this week that celebrates the book of Esther, which is the story of a Jewish woman living in Persia who infiltrates the king's palace, so to speak, by winning a beauty contest to become the queen. Now, Haman, the bad guy, tries to kill all the Jews because he's unhappy with Esther's uncle, who is Mordecai, and through a plot builds gallows to kill all the Jews. Now, Esther is able to tell the king and defend her people and stand up for herself and her people, and Haman is the one who swings from his own gallows. Lovely story. A little complicated, and one of the ones that is the most difficult for people to really process, and it's one of my least favorite stories, and I'm going to tell you why. I have three things that make me a little uncomfortable about the story of Purim. The first is, God doesn't appear anywhere in the story. We don't hear God's name at all. God is not a character. God is not present at all in the entire book of Esther, which is a little strange, and demonstrates the necessity to look a little deeper into the story and figure out meaning. Usually God is our indicator of the meaningful sections of the book, and in this particular case, God isn't present, so we need to go do a little more work. The second reason that Purim makes me a little uncomfortable is that Purim celebrates a holiday in which the Jewish people, after defeating an enemy, goes through and murders Haman and his whole family. Now, standing up for ourselves is important, and it's a vital piece of our history. The Jews have needed to defend themselves against the enemy for a very long time, and we've done so successfully for quite some time to keep ourselves healthy and keep our community safe. But in this particular case, the story describes the slaughter of all of Haman's children, and they're all hung on the gallows. And this is a little weird and doesn't sit very well with the Judaism I know, which is a teaching of happiness and understanding, and while, yes, this man tried to kill us, there's a certain level of discomfort associated with, okay, let's go kill all of his children now. That doesn't sit real well with me. The third reason is that most people try and find some symbolic meaning behind the character of Esther, and I often feel like we fall short. Esther is one of few women who has a book named after her in the biblical canon. She's also one of the few people who is sort of the star of her show. We see Esther as a bold character and taking steps that most other women don't take in the Bible, and that's pretty rare for its time period for women to have that significant a role. We see the feminist movement of Judaism often try and find some deep meaning for Esther and have her be somewhat of a symbol for the feminist movement and female power and all of those great things. And absolutely, those are great things. But I think we fail a little bit in that Esther isn't nearly the bold character we think she is. Esther is somewhat of a pawn for the game between Mordecai, Haman, and the king. The king only takes Esther into his inner circle because she wins a beauty contest. That's a little objectifying and a little bit antithetical to what feminists are often fighting for. Esther is also only able to speak her mind because the king gives her permission to do so. That doesn't demonstrate the strength that we want to see in the women that we empower in our society. All women should be empowered, not just the ones who have the permission to speak from the king. The real struggle here is there's so much going on in this story. There are so many different issues at play, and Purim is so often a holiday where we celebrate and we rejoice, and we're instructed to have great fun and really revel in the joy of having been saved in this tough situation, and yet it really undermines the struggle and the difficulties we see in the book. This is my cautionary tale of all the things wrong with Purim, so not to take away from the celebration, but just to shed a little light on some of the difficulties of blindly celebrating along with the holiday. Maybe a different feel from most of my videos, but giving you a different perspective today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you're loving what you're seeing on the Zoot Perspective Web Congregation, please donate to our page now. I'm working on developing the skills to keep this going and keep my education going. So if you like what you see, make sure to contribute by going to the link below. Thank you so much, and have a great day.